In part 4 of my World Religions XD tutorial, we're going to focus on adding images into our design. And I'm going to show you, I'm not going to do the whole thing. We're not going to do every page, but I'm going to show you kind of the basics of how to get started with that. And then we'll make some adjustments to a couple things as well in this tutorial. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to zoom in. So I'm going to hit Control or Command plus. Yeah, kind of clicked on there, Command plus. I'm going to zoom into our page here, and I think the first thing I'm going to do is going to go ahead and address these images. There are little icons right here. So I'm going to select those guys, and I'm going to right click. Actually, what I'm going to do, I think the best way to do this, I'm going to try it this way first. I'm going to open up my folder where I have my World Religions project, and I have my images folder here, and I already have some social media icons. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab all 4 of those, and I'm just going to click, and I'm going to add those into the square, and it should populate all 4 of those social media icons all at once. And in fact, since we made that a symbol, it should bring them into all of our footer. So it's such a time-saving piece for in XD, which is really cool. And then next, I'm going to come back out, and I'm going to do the same thing for this grid. And I've collected some symbols here. And the only thing that I need to be aware of is the order of how these might go in. So if you have a specific order about how these should go in, you're going to have to rename them based on that order. So if I want Judaism to go in first, if I look at our instruction sheet, and if I follow that same order, I'm going to need to do that. So let's see. So if the Star of David is my number 1, and you'll notice that one of the things that I don't like about the image that I found with the Star of David, all of my images are black and white, and the Star of David, you can barely see it, is actually blue. But let me show you how this is going to work. So if you want to put these in a certain order, double click that. So rename these and put these using numbers, and you could always do like a 1 underscore and then do like a Jewish number like that. And then if I want the Christian cross to come in, hang on, and do like a number 2, and then Christian. And of course, you could always reorder these later on if you want, like to move individual ones around, like in the social media icons. If I wanted to move those around, I could. But this way, this will eventually put these in the way that I want them to go. So let's see, after this yin yang one, hang on, I'm going to Control Z. The next one, I believe, is the Islamic star and crescent. So I'm just going to name that number 3 underscore. And then the one following that, if I go back to my instruction sheet, I'm just going to go ahead and look real quick on another page. So we have Hinduism is next. And the Hindu symbol is the Om. So we're going to go number 4 underscore, and then Om, or we can do Hindu. And then let's see, from there it's the Buddhist, which the Buddhist is this one right here, the kind of the wheel one. So I'm going to do number 5 underscore Buddha, or Buddhist. And then from there, it's Confucian. So we're going to, hang on just a second, I'm going to turn off, close my email so that doesn't ring up again. So we're going to do number 6, Confucian. Can't spell today. And then we have Taoism, which is the yin and yang. So number 7. And Tao, and then last but not least the Shinto, number 8. And again, the only reason why I'm putting these in as numbers is so they'll go in that same order when I drop them in. So the same process as we did with our social media icons. I'm just going to shift click all those images in there, and I'm going to select the first one, and what it's going to do is it's going to populate those and all of those different titles. So it's just such a huge time saver for us. So next, so before I move on here, I need to change all these titles out so that I can put the proper titles in there. So this would be Jewish, or we could say probably not Jewish, we should say Judaism. So Judaism. Oops. Spelled that all wrong. Judaism. Okay. And then we have Christian. Come on. Move tool. Double click in there. There we go. So we have Christianity. And then we have Islam. And then we have Hindu or Hinduism. Make sure that Hinduism. And then we have Buddhism. And then we have from there, we have Confucianism. See if I spell this right. See, yep. Then we have Taoism. And then last, we have Shinto. So you'll notice a couple things as I put these in. Our cross here is it's a larger image. So if I want to resize the image inside of it, oops, that's not what I want. There we go. You have to double click that. So then within that image there, we can resize it, and then we can reposition it inside the actual image. So then it fits the way we want it to. You might need to do that with a couple of your images if your images are a little bit larger than the actual, oops, Control Z that, double click there again. You have to double click to make sure you get that in there. And a little bit larger than the actual boxes that we created. So if you click on that and then double click, it'll give you you'll see that the sizing of those images exceeds that box. And so we're just going to go around just like that. With these boxes that we've put in, we could take out the border, and that actually might be a good idea. So if I hit the no border, those will come out just like that. So it makes it a little bit nicer. And then from here, I could go in and I think eventually I'll come in and replace that blue star so they're all the same. But then I'm not going to do it now, but I might want to come back later on to adjust my color scheme with my buttons and things like that. Remember we did that in the last tutorial where we added some colors over here. And so I might want to change my buttons to make them look a little bit nicer. And my header and all that kind of stuff. So, but for right now, for this tutorial, I'm just showing you how to put the images in and make some of those adjustments so you can start filling out content in your page. And we haven't addressed the splash page yet. And my plans for that are to add a nice, really large image to that, and so make that like an easy, nice little piece to come into. So I'm going to scroll down here and find my one of my first detail pages. So we've got our religions, first religion pieced out there. And then so for my title for my first religion detail page, I'm going to rename this to Judaism. So that way I know later on what to fix there. And then title, we need to change that. So we're going to double click that and type in Judaism. And you'll need to come in and fill in the text that goes in underneath these places. Please make sure that you format the text in a nice, clean way. Like if the information, obviously when I put this in, I just did a quick paragraph to throw that in there. If you need to mess with how that gets presented or how that looks, please do so. Make it look good. That's kind of the point. So from there, what I want to do is we're going to do the same thing with our images over here. And I have some images already that I have set up, and I created just a special folder for that, although I spelled the name wrong for that. There we go. So I have a special folder for that, so I'm just going to open that up. And same thing, if you want to order these in a special way, you're going to need to rename them or we can always reorder them and remove and put in a new image as we need to. But I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Grab all those. I'm not going to reorder them then this time. And then so I'm just going to grab those, put those in there, boom, just like that. And oh, that's what happens. It's going to populate all of those images. Oh shoot, look what I just did. I went into the wrong detail page and everything. So I'm going to do some Control Z action here. There we go. Okay. And probably because, you know what? I know why. Because I made these a symbol, didn't I not? I made each one of these a symbol. So I'm wondering if I have to... Let's see what happens here. I think that's what's going to happen. I'm going to type in Judaism, and let's see if that affects all of them. Nope, it doesn't do that. Okay. So why did... Okay, I'm going to rename this real quick. And then I'm going to grab those images one more time and bring those in. And it's going to want to populate all of those images because, I'm guessing because it's a symbol, but why did the text end up that way? That is curious. So I'm wondering if I can come in here, if I could add, let's just test this out. I'm going to do this with our symbols just to see if it does the same thing. And there's only 6, so I can't do that. So I'm going to do 6. Hold on. There we go. Let's see what happens if I do it there. Yeah, it's all going to change it. So I'm guessing it's because of the way we made each of these pages a symbol. So can we get rid of that? And will that change? That must change it. So let's Control Z. We're going to Control Z back. And so I can get rid of those images. I'm going to go ahead and right click on this and delete that symbol that we created on the last tutorial. That actually is going to screw us up. So it didn't work. It didn't work like I thought it was, but that's okay. And then we're going to grab all those images for Judaism and then drop that into the square. So now it should, good. It only puts it into that one page, which is what I want to see. Okay, so I've got my images to go in where I need them to go in Judaism. So again, like I said, you'll need to put the proper text in there from the research that you guys did from the very beginning, the activity. And you're going to end up filling these all out for the rest of these. So you're going to do that for the next one. You're going to do that for Christianity. You're going to continue on down each of those pages until you have all 8 filled out with images and the text and so on and so forth. In the final tutorial, I'm not going to obviously I'm obviously not going to do this in our tutorial because it would just take too long. So you're just going to see me do this in the one page. So you'll need to fill out for the rest of them. In my final tutorial, what I'm going to do is go in and make some adjustments to our design, and then we will link it up as a prototype and show how that works. But in the meantime, your job is to put in the information and start working on your design a little bit more.